Mountain Bay, Village of Mountain Bay, Village of Everest, Village of the Evergreens. All right, since he hit the gavel, I'd like to call the Mountain Bay Metropolitan Oversight Board in order. Let's see, minutes,
I'm gonna do a roll call.
yeah, do a roll call, please.
Jamie Wyland,
Here.
Dan Helgeson, here, Jim Pincinel,
Present.
Mark Maloney,
Here.
Dan Helgeson or Dan Mortensen, excuse me, is excused.
Okay, number 3, announcements, statements from, any announcements or statements from the audience? You have 5 minutes. You want to talk about cheese curds? No? Okay, all right.
We have nobody online.
Okay, nobody online? All right, sounds good. 3 minutes of previous meeting, oversight board meeting minutes of September 18th, 2024. What's your pleasure?
To approve the minutes as presented.
By Pincinel,
Second.
second by Helgeson, right? Did I say that right? Yes, okay. Anything on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 4, update regarding the day-to-day operations, bullet point transition of firearms.
We want to jump 6 and 9 and let Casey, so she's here for those,
6 through 9 or 6 and?
6 and 9.
Okay, so with the board's approval, can we move to 6 instead?
Yes,
Okay.
suspend the rules
And then we'll
through,
go to 9,
yes.
and then we'll go back to 4. All right, somebody keep me online there. So we're gonna go to 6. 6, discussion and possible action regarding the draft contractual agreement with the Bolt Company.
Yeah, so essentially, I had an excellent conversation. I wasn't able to talk to Jamie about this, but had a long conversation with our attorney for Mountain Bay Metro, Nick Flanagan. So essentially what we're doing so far with the process is right on track. And what I mean by that is in terms of the building itself, the only, by state statute, we have to take the lowest reasonable bid when it comes to actually putting a shovel in the ground.
Mhm.
Excuse me, responsible, not reasonable, responsible bid, correct. Lowest responsible bid. So that being said, in terms of architecture, design,
Mhm.
Construction manager, those are things that we still want to have a discussion on and certainly, make sure we get a competitive pricing. However, in terms of an actual bidding process, that's something that we would have to go once the shovel hits the ground. The reason why that pertains here is that, again, with the Bolt Company, this is something that they're really not a construction manager yet at this point. What it is that pre-design construction, as you guys have here. So again, it's that up to that $45,000. I think it was on page 5, 6, somewhere in there. And so what that would do is, and currently what we've done so far is meet with the Bolt team. We tried to bring in 4 different architect firms, EUA, HTG, which you're seeing here in the packet, along with McMahon and Bolt themselves. Bolt actually does have an architect firm internally, but due to, I think, backlog and workload, they just don't have the time or resources to do it currently. So that being said, what we'd be looking to do, at least in terms of item number 6 on the agenda, is to kind of move forward with Bolt at this time, only for the pre-design portion at this time. And then if we were to move on in terms of the construction process, the actual construction itself, along with the construction management piece, those would be separate contracts that we would have to hold.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Everybody's on the same page. And then
Yep, so there's no construction management a part of this agreement. This is all pre-shovel in the ground.
You seen that to him or?
No, I'm just saying it.
He didn't talk to you. He went right past you and you know they're building in Weston.
Said, you call me.
Yeah, okay. All right, good. All right.
we're working as a team, Mark.
I know that. And I love every minute of it. All right, I'm good to go. So 6 is.
Yeah, whatever question.
Actions? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so just break this down with crayons for a dumb mechanic, right? So for $25,000, you are hiring an architect or you're working with an architect to get plans. And so it's $25,000 for you to manage the architectural firm or get them the specs, or what does that look like?
45.
45 it is. Got it.
It's a $45,000 not to exceed number.
Mhm.
That is inclusive of architectural services RFP, which we've already done. So we solicited said qualified firms. Gotten that done this past week. We would then be design partner and management of those initial concepts. So job is to hold that design partner accountable, knowing that we know the budget and we don't want to design over a budget. So we're going to be in lockstep with the firm as well as the team here to say, there might be ideas where we can value engineer different materials, different things that can bring that cost down. There's always going to be a check and balance at every milestone that happens as they design, concept, etc. We're going to go back and some paper and make sure that we're putting numbers together and holding that team accountable to the said value that we've identified. In addition to that, we would do that construction budget development. Evaluation, we would help them get through construction documents and all of the documentation that would then be readily available to send out to solicitation for CM or general contractor, the shovels in the ground part.
Mhm.
Take it all the way to that point to make sure the building that's being created is exactly what's feasible and doable for this team here. So it's a lot of checks and balances contractually. We're also helping to manage the dollars and cents that come through any of those charges from the architectural team. It's very transparent. You'll see all of those documents, all of those invoices and things as they come about. But again, it's kind of holding those feet to the fire, making sure that taking a little bit of the weight off of the team that's here, but also as in lockstep as a partner to get to that next juncture.
We should probably get this in a motion so we can discuss further. Is it right or not? Because I got questions, and do we want to do this outside of the motion or inside?
I think
If you two are okay with it, then I'll ask now.
it's fine.
Okay, so when Marshfield Clinic or Marshfield Hospital was built, for some ungodly reason, the architect went like this with the building. And God knows why. I can't imagine the cost it was to do that. We're not gonna, I mean, at what point do people here that have to use this building day in and day out are gonna say, no, we don't want that? Because architects, it's not, they don't want to just build a nothing. You know, so who's gonna keep that in check?
That is
That
their-
strength and power and feasibility and usability, all that stuff, instead of wild angles and all this. I mean, I love architecture to the T, but this is a police department, and I'd rather have turrets up on top of it with barbed wire than anything, any kind of a round thing.
Can answer.
I wouldn't mind a prison. I'm telling you, when it all goes to hell, that's where I'm going with food. So,
I can answer part of that.
I mean, as long as that
Before-
architect is back and forth and all of a sudden we get a final design and we go, whoa, you know, what about all these curved walls? We don't, you know,
Before we even started with this,
Yeah.
Tim was real good to ask,
okay,
what are the questions on what kind of building do you want? How do you want it to look? And before we even did anything with him, we already had that discussion. And he knows that square is better and straight stuff is better than having all these curves and turns and twists in it. So I think that is,
okay. And
Hear that.
another question I have is hard surface versus landscaping. I know in our village, the ask from our planning is incredible that, you know, we want 300 trees. And to be honest, where's the maintenance gonna come from? You know, and I mean, we can't afford the cutting of the grass we have now. In most places can't, we don't even think about it, but we do. So I just want all those things thought of, you know, so anyway,
I'm looking for a retirement job, so I thought.
okay,
cutting the
that's
grass-
good. Get some goats over there.
Probably
Some
a
goats.
bad thing.
Love it, okay.
But with
Right.
boats on board, they're gonna take our zoning code and
Mhm.
they'll work with the architect to make sure that whatever we get back matches that before it's
Well,
reviewed.
you look at Green Hack and Green Hack isn't, you know, it could have been with that budget, it could have been nuts. It is nuts, but it's beautiful. I mean, everything is the way it is, and they're using as much room as they can without, you know, sometimes I mean, in Appleton, they have a round high school over there, and I just think that's crazy to have a round high school. You know, how do you even expand it, you know? And then really, are we gonna look, is this police department someday gonna expand or not? You know, we've got one on our new building that we built over in Weston. We have one wall that we can expand. That's it. Really, nothing else can. So just a thought. And then the evidence, when they were redoing our $2 million rebuild over in Weston at our beer, the beer facility, Budweiser. I remember walking through it when it wasn't quite done, and I saw the evidence room, and I said, what's with this outside wall? And it was just the sheet metal. And so they had to tear all that out, put cinder block back in. I mean, evidence has got to be, and I know you know all that, but does the architect know it all? That's all. So, yeah, Dan,
I think the architect will work directly with the chief,
right?
correct?
Okay,
So that
and that's what I feel is gonna happen. I agree.
you'll know what design you really want.
Mhm.
And how much,
Mhm.
speaking to the outside landscape, and how much can you really afford to maintain?
Well, you are conservative in nature. You're conservative in nature, and I like that part. I just want to make darn sure that this comes to you that you're involved the whole onset, you know?
Up to this point, I feel very comfortable with
Okay.
everything that has happened, and I don't feel like someone's trying to push an agenda that isn't gonna happen, so
Done.
it's been good.
Done. Okay. Anybody else? Any more questions? Jamie,
No, thank you.
you don't want a park or any kind of facility over there? We have some extra land. No? Okay.
Do we have to meet the landscape requirements? Or that can be waived by the site plan approval authority?
I think that we would want to meet the landscape requirements because it would be reflective of the municipality, but we,
I'm sorry. I don't see any islands in Everest parking lot. Where are all the islands with all the trees?
That
There
was,
should be 25 islands in that parking lot where the students park. Because we made Pick and Save do it. They wanted to put $5 million into that building, so we made them put islands and trees in there. And for 2 years, the customers catapulted over those things. I ran that store for 20 years. I can't imagine those people that never saw anything there. I'm being a stinker right now. I am.
and I'm,
We didn't make them put trees all over, so why would we make this police department be all cutesy and feely?
I can't answer for that, but just looking forward, we are taking that rewrite of the landscape plan on Monday. Because we did just do the rewrite to adjust the points.
Okay, good.
Given the acreage that we have there, I don't think we will have any issue meeting
Yeah.
landscape requirements.
Look at Amazon. Amazon, you almost can't see the building because of the trees. So, and I'm being a stinker. I'm recognizing how I am being right now. All right, what's our pleasure? Number 6. It'd be regarding a motion for a draft contractual agreement with the Bolt Company.
we're not approving architect this time, right, just for this.
Basically, I mean, it's not a napkin, but it's kind of the preliminary drawings and stuff. So that we can take it out for bids.
Architect is.
And it could leave Bolt at that point, you know.
I'll make a motion to have action on the draft contractual agreement with the Bolt Company for the actual base $45,000.
Okay, we have a motion by Helgeson.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed 45.
$45,000.
And we can take out, if you guys are comfortable with the agreement, we can take out draft. We presented it as draft, but if we're comfortable, we can.
Right, gotcha.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
So a motion by Helgeson,
Second.
we have a second by Wyland. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Now moving down to 9, discussion and possible action regarding architect firm selection for building design.
Yep, so
And you mentioned 4? And so where are all 4?
Came in.
HTP,
Uh-huh.
McMahon and Bolt, our internal design team, were unable due to timeline and capacity.
McMahon can't either? Oh, that's your name, but like a private label or something?
McMahon is a separate firm.
Oh, it is. Okay, so we're between HT and who? And where are they both from?
HTP is cities. Say all 4.
I don't know either company.
yeah, so really looking at it. What it came down to, so part of the presentation from the architectural firms that we participated, us 3, along with Casey and Tim, when Jeremy referenced Tim was a gentleman with Bolt. So us 5 had met with these architect firms last Friday. In the packet, what you're seeing is the 2 proposals from HTG from a dollar amount, and you're also seeing what EUA came in at. So EUA does cost more. HTG is coming in at 195, but that does not include, I'm gonna call it the travel expenses, or reimbursables that you guys say. And then EUA comes in at it'd be 237, excuse me, no, 242. And that would then include, or that would include their estimated 17,000 in reimbursables. At the end of the day, essentially, you're looking at roughly a little over $40,000 difference for the kind of the same product. The one nice thing that HTG offers for the 195 plus the reimbursables unlike EUA, is that their timeline seemed a bit more constrained. And what I mean by that is we know here that we are on a timeline to try to get into this building at the end of 2025. So that we can have Chief Hunt, be part of that building as long as he can be until retirement. That's likely gonna approach us in 2026. So
Who are you giving the edge to?
HTG, the
And
chief,
HCG is out of where?
HTG is out of Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Okay.
They both were great to work with, I think. I think HTG is gonna deliver a very fine product. That they seem to understand what we were looking for. I'd say both entities knew what we were looking for. HTG actually came with a very early submittal plan, or at least a draft plan, a drawing of where they thought the building would look on the site currently. So I think both teams were very eager to want to take it on. It's just that I think when we, as a board, along with staff, when we have to answer to the community, if you're taking two proposals that are willing to do it almost in the same time frame, but one's cheaper, but you're going to get the same end product, I think it's our duty to the taxpayers that we go with the one that's probably a bit more cost effective.
You agree?
Yeah, we interviewed both of them, and after talking to Tim and Casey, they both said they're both as capable as the other one. We do have a building going up here from HTG in the next year.
Where?
Cedar and Cedar Creek, that's a potential, but they did design one, a golf. It's like a Top Golf that we just approved on Monday.
So they have done work in our area. You know, again, it's the architect and the builder's the one that's gonna.
What's your gut tell?
Yeah. Well, I like the ones out of Green Bay personally better out of the interview. That was just me.
Okay.
So cost wise, you said that the travel or whichever on HTD is not included in this 195.
It is not, the 195, it is
So
not.
we're really, I mean, travel is probably likely more from Minneapolis than it is from Green Bay.
Well, it's an hour and a half versus 3. Yeah.
He asked a question though, and they would work with us to do as much virtual as we could. And they also have other projects that are here in the area, so they did not feel like they would even get close to that $17,000.
This is HCG?
Correct.
Yeah.
What other projects do they have?
We're working on the golf one. I'm not sure what else they're doing.
Confidential projects in the city. Sports and rec standpoint, which is stand there, so they are here very frequently.
What's the last project you guys worked on with putting you on the spot here?
So Tim specifically, so he has worked on a lot of financial institutions within kind of that Hudson, Stillwater, and Cities market, and up into even Cloquet. In all cases, extremely successful projects. Again, ones that in partnership, I think it's a great, I mean, either one. We do a lot with EUA as well, so I think that's where we became very neutral. Of both are very, very capable, have a lot of qualifications either way. So,
Do either one do grocery stores? That you know of?
and I,
Okay. EUA did? Okay. Right, just wondered.
What's the timeline on either of these? I didn't see it specifically called out in here, like, hey, one can do it in 60 days, one can do it in 30 days. I just think not the 2020, end of 2025 is undoable. But I see that as
Aggressive.
I,
probably not gonna have, we don't even have plans or any state approvals to.
the whole group in the room
They want it, they can get it really fast.
felt
I don't hold for private citizens.
that they can get this done, and they felt very confident on the drawings, and both the companies said they are looking for work right now. So they pretty much said that in the next 2 weeks, they would be on these drawings to get them done. And they said if they have the right communication, they should be able to get them done fairly quickly, so.
The same timeframe for both firms.
HTG truthfully thought we could be walking in the doors in December of 2025.
No, I mean, just this piece. So how long does the architectural piece done? Is this 2 weeks until I can have architectural stamp plans ready to rock and roll? Or bi-directional communication?
30 to 60 days, there was some discussion
it's
on
about
that.
2 months, end of November.
Get it done before the end of, okay, good, good.
HTG was, today was go. They had, I think, the 23rd on their schedule to come start programmatic meetings. I think that's.
Oh, wow.
With both entities, that's their forte, is that front end programmatic piece that you're addressing. Making sure they grab all of the ideas out of the chief's mind, the things he's talking with his team on.
Okay.
Make sure we're not overstepping in any way on their programming, and the questioning and the detail they go into allows them to go back I would say rather immediately to the drawing board, start with concept. And in either case, I think, HTG from my recent experience even has been able to take what is said in program meeting one and come with a pretty close concept to what reality ends up being.
Okay.
You felt confident that HTG was the one that would have it the soonest between the two.
That's
I
what,
heard you correctly.
Yes.
what they,
Yes.
And Chief, are you comfortable with HTG?
I'm comfortable with either one.
Okay.
It's just EAU came in with a little bit flashier stuff. That's flash, both says that they both can accomplish this.
I'm,
Okay.
I feel good that Bolt says that, because that's gonna be big for me.
HTG did have a drawing.
Mhm.
They did know the site. It's like they were researching us a little bit more.
Yeah.
A smaller company.
And the thought, and then also the thought of the whole process, when you think about this, oh my gosh, how are we gonna be able to do this and still do everything else we just did? I would only look back a couple months and say, look what we just did, we merged. That merger is gonna be way bigger than this, because the merger went like this. This is all, for me, it's exciting. Building something is hugely exciting, huge. I wanna come in when we select colors. I'm a color, I like color. Grays and silvers. I'm just teasing, blue. All right, so we have a motion and a second on the table, right? Any more discussion?
Did we have a
I don't
motion?
think we have a motion.
had
I thought we did.
not for the last one we
Oh,
did
Dan,
this.
okay,
So are these are firm numbers, or can you do a not to exceed 205 or a something on the HTG?
I think you could do a firm number on the 195 and a not to exceed on reimbursable costs.
That's how I would do that
Yeah.
one.
oh,
Because
okay,
they're looking at two
Okay.
separate ways, Jim. So they're looking at it, here's my upfront costs and here's my non-deliverable or the
Mhm.
expense. So what you could do is, yes, not to exceed 10,000 for expenses and then not to exceed the 195 for the architecture.
okay. Anyone want to take a stab?
Then we need a end date in the contract too, like that 60 days has gotta be it's gotta be in there, or 45 or whatever we hold them to. No?
Well, they'll be with us
Yeah.
until the end.
Yeah.
Be all the way to the end.
But like to a timetable, right? So like, hey, we have to have architectural plans by such and such a date, not the can keeps getting kicked.
Hold them accountable.
Correct.
I guess I'm looking to you. I don't know how that works in your world.
I feel like to the schedule that they planned. And,
Okay.
Right, there are things like you know. It's received in the things that we and find soil, we highly doubt that.
Yeah,
No, I'm talking on the planning side, on the front side.
Just this front piece, this front piece,
What I'm saying is I don't want it to be February 15th until this part is hammered out and done. I really don't even want it to be December 15th. I want to,
well, it might have to be, it might have to be end of the year.
And
Good.